Thanks for joining me on the Ghanaian Farmer TV. On this platform, Farming Today, we discuss a lot of very timely discussions that would help you as a startup farmer, someone who's already farming, and those who are looking forward to investing in farming. Now, at the start of every year, farming activities happens across the entire 16 region right here in Ghana. But the one thing that farmers who are yet to start keep wondering and thinking about is production budgets. How do I create my production budget? Especially for those of you who are now starting afresh, you are the reason we are doing this. So if you're doing, let's say, hot pepper, that is chili, just an acre, to test the waters and see how things could go. Today, with the help of Eric Asante, he is an agronomist, a product developer, and also works with Sakata Seeds. He will be helping us to actually break down all the figures we see here, the basic things that make up for a 1 acre hot pepper farm is what we have here. He'll be explaining much later when he joins me. Many thanks to our proud sponsor, Roco Nano Urea. And this day and age, we are encouraging farmers to farm sustainably and, of course, using innovation. And one of the innovative products that we have in the market is Roco Nano Urea. It works, or the plant absorbs 80% of the nutrient through its leaves. And this works even more effective than the solid urea. It is less expensive. It gives your crop protection. It also gives you higher yield. As for transportation, with this my pocket, I can just put a bottle of Roco here and I'm good to go. I don't need to go and charter a taxi that will take me a lot of money. Our adverts are all over on the social media platform. So get in touch and hit us right there, or talk to us where you are. We'll make sure you have your Roco delivered to you. Very, very effective. The first application is 3 weeks after your transplanting, and then 2 weeks after you do the second application. You can call JK Industries Limited on this number to buy your Roco, or the Ghanaian Farmer. We are equally selling Roco Nano Urea. So if you want to buy some, just reach out to me on 0554 830431. So on Farming Today, we are not sitting. We are going right to delve into this discussion, and then Eric will explain all that he has here. I don't know what he's writing. But Mr. Asante, please come closer. Thank you for coming once again.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
So the farming season has started.
Yeah.
And a lot of new farmers are coming in the space.
Yes.
So some of the frequent questions I had, or I'm being asked, that's why we are doing this, which is, I want to do habanero. Okay. I want to do onion, watermelon. I want to do pineapple. How much is enough for me to zoom into my farming venture? So you are always on the field, doing trials for farmers, breaking budgets. So first of all, when we talk about production budgets, what is it?
So thank you, and greetings to your cherished viewers and listeners. Basically, for a farmer, or we will say we will view farm as one of the many businesses everyone runs. And when you are dealing with business, then the money aspect of that business needs to be looked at keenly. What do I put in and what am I getting out? These are the basic equation.
Right.
So for production budget, we are just interested in what are we going to put in and what are the potentials coming out. When we have a fair idea, then it can spur on investments, or investors can collaborate with one people or the other. In this modern day and age where agriculture is being encouraged, whether from urban farming to commercial farmers. So everyone would like to test the waters, understand from 1 unit of an acre or 1 hectare to whichever larger surface area they would cover.
Okay.
And that's what I seek to provide some of these assistance.
Great. Thank you very much for explaining. So in your list, run me through. For me, we just got our land in Ayensuano, and we'll be doing chili. Okay. So run me through some of the basic things that factor or feature in my production budget.
Okay. So for a very good production budget, we took the basic units of the land size used within mostly West Africa. 1 acre, double of it, or 2.5 of it is going to give us a hectare. our crop focus, like we said, is hot pepper, or we say chili, cayenne, whether habanero, whether the bird's eye, whether the long one, we still be doing the same thing. Okay. So for a production budget, mostly within the West African region, people cultivate around 1 acre and above. And here we are taking the basic unit land size people use here and considering the crop hot pepper, being it habanero, cayenne, hot chili, short or long. Now we'll look at areas like cost of investment, things when you buy, it will go beyond just one season. Then operational, or we'll say variable costs, things like seeds and all the usables. Then we'll look at the human resource aspects or the labor. Then we will come to see the expected yield, and for that matter, when we sell, what are we going to get?
All right.
Then we'll compare the outputs.
Okay.
If it's going to be profitable
or
for us to venture.
Okay.
So if I'm starting from the top,
yes,
then we are looking at cost of investment or semi-fixed things. Like if I hire land for a number of years, then I'm not going to pay or buy a land again. So for in Ghana, in a year, if you are renting a land, a farmland is around 500 cedis.
Okay.
For your consideration, maybe it's your start of the year, so 1 year or for one season, and we said that it will still be 500 cedis.
Okay.
Now, wherever you are sourcing your water, you are pumping and all these things, that is why we say we encourage you site it near a water source.
Right.
Because it's a temporal land for you, there is no need to sink a borehole, because tomorrow you could change your
the
location.
Landowners could come for their land.
Exactly. So if so, then you are looking at an amount of less than 1,000 cedis
for the 2 seasons.
Yes.
All right.
You need it one time, and for that matter, you are getting the same unit.
Okay.
For irrigation system, you have the option of drip irrigation or sprinkler, or we say shower for me, rain for me, sanfun, however the system people know it. Extreme amount, let's consider 5,000 Ghana cedis for the irrigation setup. You need a main line, sub-main, the water systems that will deliver to the crop and all parts of the field. You are buying it once, and for that matter, the amount still remains
5,000.
the same. Pump, you need some pumps to spare you on. Sometimes you need pump at the water source, and you also need pump to distribute. So we try to separate the pump from the irrigation system, because it's not everyone selling irrigation system that have pumps. We have different places, and mostly randomly you are getting it around 2,000.
Okay.
You are buying it also once, for that matter, the amount
remains 2,000.
2,000.
Okay.
On these scenarios, we could maintain the idea of land lease. We can add plowing if we care to know. We can add plowing as part of the land preparation.
Right.
So let me add plowing here. Plowing. GHGS. In modern day, recently it's around 600 cedis.
Yeah.
Depending on your location,
exactly,
these things will vary a little bit.
Yeah.
You need it 2 times.
You plow the land twice.
Twice. It's mostly advisable.
Right.
And then that would mean you are getting about
1,200.
1,200.
Okay.
If so, then what will be the total? We are looking at 6,000, 8,000, 9,700 cedis, give or take.
Oh, so the first items that you need or you're going to be listing, I mean, you can't do without it. It's first off, you need your land. All right, that is your leasing for starters.
Yes.
Even if you're lucky and it's a family land, so let's say that even if it's a family land, you are still leasing. So the basic cost that might run through is 500 cedis for 1 acre. And then he's saying for leasing, if you've leased a land, don't go and invest in drilling borehole.
Right.
Because you might never know when the mind of the owner of the land will change and might say, offer, when you finish harvesting, go, okay, I won't give you my land again. What will you do with your borehole? So either you look for a land closer to water source, or you find another alternative of getting water. And he gave you a figure also. Then the pumps, all right, if you're closer to a water source, it means you need pumps to, you know, push the water, give it pressure to come to the farm. And so he also gave a figure. And for land or for vegetable cultivation, it is advisable to do 2 times plow. And at Ayen's one where we are now is 600 for 1 plow. So if I'm doing 2, it means that it's going to be costing me 1,002. And so the first total we got is 7,000 Ghana cedi. Is that correct?
9,700.
It's 9,700 Ghana cedi.
Yes.
All right. So after this first part, is that all? Am I good to go?
So this is we will say cost of investment.
All right.
Why? Because some of the things are going to be more or less fixed.
Okay.
Pumps, you are not going to buy
again.
pumps. Irrigation system, you are not going to buy again. Maybe water source, we can choose to increase it a little bit to get about 10,800 maximum extreme, and then we should be good. Okay. So I like to put cost at high levels intentionally, so that by the time we are getting our revenue, it means we have covered all the grounds.
Okay.
We should be closer to this.
Okay.
We can put them together again. We should be closer to this. This will make it easier.
Okay.
High cost for the start, intentionally.
Okay.
So that by the time you are getting our production output, we are in a good sorted level. Then we'll come to variable cost or operational costs, mostly seeds, fertilizers, or we'll say inputs. These ones, even if we will not buy this again, these
every season
you buy.
Okay.
At this level, for pepper, I will choose the highest cost, let me say, available. Because if you are dealing with habanero, mostly 1,000 seeds is 1,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
So when you are buying seeds, it's always advisable to add a 5% to it. So if you are looking at around 8,000 population plants or even higher, then we are looking at about 9,000 cedis for your crop, your seeds.
Okay.
You buy it once for that season, hence the amount remains the same.
Wait.
Yeah.
Why am I buying seed 9,000? I don't understand.
So when you are dealing with open pollinated seeds,
yes,
you can get something like 500 cedis.
You mean 1 acre farm?
Yes.
The seed I'll buy will cost me 9,000.
This is the reality. If people want the reality,
yes,
let's give them the reality.
Okay.
So when you go, there are other areas that the reason why a farmer would like to buy a cheap seed is because the farmer think they are saving money. But it's just like those who use technologies. Those who buy the good technology once and for all can use it for like 10 years without buying again. If I may ask, why are people interested in iPhones? Because when you buy some of the other ones, you keep buying year on year. Whereas those who try to buy these iPhones, if no thefts and physical damage, you can go 4 or 5 years without too much headaches.
Okay.
So I have chosen the high end of the cost purposely, because anybody who have done habanero in this country knows that it ranges from 1,000 cedi, 2,000, 3,000, and the highest within the space, 1,000 seed is costing 1,000 Ghana. And I'm looking at the plant population of about 8,300.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to undercost. Okay. But anybody who is from this range and below, you are covered.
Okay.
Otherwise, if we give people the 2,000 for 1 acre, they'll go somewhere else and they'll have shock or reality check. And that will look like our budget was not real. But we are capturing the high end of the budget so that everybody will fall below. And if this produce profits, that would mean that everyone who even buys the most expensive among these products are still going to make it.
All right.
In their 1 acre scenario.
Very well, sir.
So for fertilizers, we have the groups, being it the startup or the MAP, the urea, and all these for the entire acre. Then you also give it some complements. So we say starter, then vegetative, then flowering and fruiting. If you put everything together, we are looking at an amount of about 3,500
for fertilizer.
for fertilizer. This
I'll spend 3,500 cedis
you
for
should.
fertilizer.
Yes.
How many bags are we looking at? And what is it? Both NPK and urea, or this is just for one type of fertilizer?
No, this is not for one type of fertilizer.
For
so for both urea, NPK, you are also buying foliar fertilizers. Then we call it calcium boron. During the fruiting, you need some CAB.
Okay.
There will be of different prices, but by the time you finish buying all these things, 450, 300 cedis, 200 cedis, you put everything together for 1 acre, and it's not one-time application.
Okay.
You apply something like maximum 3 times, depending on the stage of the crop.
Okay.
And that will sum up to 3,500.
All right.
So different fertilizers,
Very
different
well.
quantities.
Okay.
Now for insecticides and fungicide, you need about minimum 4 to 5 insecticides. The reason for different types of insecticide is because you are doing what we call sustainable farming. In sustainability, you think of not helping the pests that is going to attack you build resistance. So to prevent resistant building, you buy different insecticides and or fungicide so that you do it rotational approach. So anytime I sprayed insecticide A, let me use active ingredient. If you sprayed insecticide like acetamiprid, you are not expected to repeat it the following week.
Okay.
So a sort of rotational approach. And for that matter, you need about 4 to 5 of it. Fungicide, you need about 3 to 4 of it. And by the time you put 150, mostly they are selling between 150 Ghana to 250 Ghana. By the time you buy about 8 to 7 or 7 to 8 of them, it's costing you about 1,500 cedis.
For the
Insecticides.
okay.
Yes.
What if I'm doing organic?
Organic farming.
Yes, please.
It means you would like to control weeds by labor, mostly physical control. And if you were doing 3 or 4 times weed control, every time you have some 3 or 4 farmers or farm hands to come and do this work, they are going to, or temporary workers, they are going to take you about 450, 150 per head within the day or two. By the time you finish the entire acre, it has costed you similar amount.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So moving on, can we check the total for this? Because the seed is costing us 9,000.
Yes.
Plus 3,500, that is 12,500.
12,500.
Plus 1,500, that's around 14,000. Is that correct?
Yes. So let's add the weedy side.
All right.
Assuming so this insecticide is separated, is different from fungicide, but I put all together because we will say crop protection.
Yeah.
Then these are weed control. If you chose the manual labor, it will be in sections. Maybe 500 CD first weeding, another 500 CD second weeding. By concluding or ending of your season, you've done another 450 to 500.
Okay.
So 1,500, whether chemical or physical control, you'll be around this range.
All right. So down here, how much are we also looking at? The total cost?
So we have 3,500 in adding to. So 1,000, that becomes 12,500. Another 1,500 12,500, so 14,000. Then another 1,500 coming out of here. 15, 16,000.
Yeah. Wow. We are not done, no. Hey. And we are not done, but look at how the cost is piling up because, you know, a lot of times, you guys will call me and you have 10,000, I want to do farming. Take it easy and be looking at what is happening here. So we finished the fertigation or the fertilizer, the woody side, and all that. Now, what else is left? Is it time for us to be looking at our maturity?
We are not close to harvest. So
we are not close there.
To
I'm in a hurry. I want my money.
I understand.
All right.
I
so
think by the time we put this together, sometimes the numbers here, maybe you will get -1 + 1. Please, you can spare us. You can take the calculator and do it. But I see more, I think 15,500. I hope so.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, please, these are just numbers.
Yes.
But the focus is what is going to go
into the budget.
Yes.
All right.
Now, there's an aspect of production that is the human resource. Everything you are buying, whether you are present or out of the field, you are either your own labor going to convert these things into either putting it in the soil and gradually going to supervise so it comes of fruits, or you are going to hire people to take care of these things for you. If you are doing that, and for 1 acre, you need at least averagely 3 people to take care of your field.
Really?
At least someone who is technically inclined within the farming space. Optional if you have the assistance of extension officer within your operational area. However, it's better we cost the supervisor.
Fair enough.
Okay. Then you need farm hands. If you are keeping them, then you need 2 of them for your season, 3 months production. So if you have a supervisor, I will expect that at least you are able to do 2,000 Ghana cedi for the supervisor. 3 times or 3 months, 90 days. And then we are expecting that here you are going to have a total amount of
6,000.
6,000.
Okay.
For the farm hand, you can also, they are on the as and when or as needed basis. If you go as needed basis, then you do what they call, here we call per day or per the entire 8 hours.
Or by day.
Or by day, exactly. So if you are doing by day, then when you don't need them, you are not giving them anything. But if you are keeping a permanent workers on field, we can do the same 2,000 again.
For the farm hand?
Yeah, for 1,000 each for the 2 of them.
But I'm going to provide them with accommodation.
Yes.
And feeding.
Yes.
And so what is the basic salary I can give them? 1,500?
This, I would do 1,000 is okay if you are, there are some other incentives.
Okay.
But if you are not providing, mostly farms are secluded from city. So if you are not providing some of these support system, then you see your farmers or your farm workers trying to reach out to town to go and get for themselves food and other things.
All right.
But if you are providing, then we can agree that 1,000 for farm hand per month should be fine. And for 3 months, so they are 2. Always let's remember that they are 2.
Yeah.
So that will also give us another 6,000 literally.
Okay.
Hope it's clear.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So for 1 person, it would have been 3,000. For 2 people, then it's 6,000.
Okay.
Giving us about 12,000. I hope the numbers are okay.
Yes. So for a 1 acre farm, it's either you register with the district agric office in that community.
Right.
So they can be sending over their extension agent to help you on the farm.
Right.
Or if you want effective work, anytime there is anything to be done, the technical person or the expert is there. that means you need to get this person on your field.
Right.
And that person will take 2,000 a month. And vegetable give and take 3 months, you are ready to begin harvesting. So you should cost this amount, which is 6,000 for the supervisor and your farm hands. He says if you can afford 2 people who are just normal guys helping the expert to protect or care for the plants is okay. Then if you're a corporate person and you'll not always be on the farm, means you go there on weekends.
Yeah.
It means that there will be 3 in total, but they will also, for the next 3 months, they will also be taking you another 6,000 Ghana cedis. This is incredible. Farming, they say, is no longer cheap. And we are looking at how the numbers are turning out.
Yeah.
So now that we've reached the point of labor and we've seen what goes into it, what else are we looking at now?
So let's look at, if we put the A plus the B cost plus the C cost, it is going to give us around 38,500, give or take. Or we could just try to do the basic addition here to just get some numbers.
Okay.
That is providing us a round figure. Can I use the word 40,000? Just to make it easy for
anybody. It's always good to make room for, anything, any uncertainty that might come in. So, yes.
So whatever amount we will get, we can say miscellaneous.
Okay.
We take a 10% of that and add to the cost.
Okay.
So we can put together. So whatever you see, please remember you need to put some extra money aside. But we just want to keep focus on what is actually going to happen for now.
Okay. So now that we've considered of saying what goes into our production budget, I guess it's about time we go into the fields and do our transplanting. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So our A is our cost of investment, our B is our variable cost, and our C is labor cost.
Okay.
These are the key components of production budgets.
Okay.
Like we said, you have room for adjustments, but let's stick to the basics.
Great.
Now, if we've covered these ones, then we expect that the work has been done.
Okay.
For that matter, we are also expecting returns.
Exactly.
Now, we already know how much it's going to cost us, and we are expecting something from our plants. Now, our plant, I'm trying to do 2 different cases. One case, a farmer who put so much on 1 acre. For pepper, it will be around 13,000 plants. Population. Each of these plants is expected to be a manufacturing company churning out fruits for us. If a farmer decided to open up their crop spaces, then we're saying that they are falling around 8,330 plants for their plant population.
Right.
Now, given the good treatment we have provided, we're expecting each plant to give us 100 fruits, between 100 and 120 fruits
on one plant.
Okay. So when we say this, what we mean is that they are harvesting period. Anytime you decide to harvest, and another 3 days you come and harvest, another 3 days or 4 days you come and harvest. We are saying, assuming you chose one plant to focus on and you counted the fruit is going to provide over the 3 months, minimum we should be expecting about 100 fruits. These 100 fruits averagely is giving us 1 kg.
Okay.
For that matter, for the 13,000 plants, each of them providing 1 kilogram of fruits, it should give us how many in total? 13,000 kilogram of fruits, or 13 tons of production output.
Okay.
Now, the unit price for habanero is around 35 cedis, 1 kg. If you buy, whether you bought it on table, they've gathered, or whether you went to the mall that it was weighed, you'll still be receiving it around 35 cedis. But I still dropped the price to about 20 cedi as the unit price.
Okay.
When we finish, we will model. We can choose to go high, we can choose to come down.
Depending on the season you are also farming, right?
Clearly.
Okay.
Clearly. Because if you came to meet a season where everybody have come to the market, then your price might drop. So I've given 20 for us to try and see.
Okay.
Then the same for it. Soon we can change it to 40 CD and you see how it will become.
Okay.
And everyone has their choice, given the background, to start changing the prices. What if the price is at this point? What will I make? Okay. And that can give us a clear idea.
Okay.
Any comments?
All right. So, first of all, how long does the chili takes to mature? How long does it take? Is it also in the family of the 3 months?
Yes, it's in the family of 3 months.
3 months.
90 days.
That's it.
It should be fine.
And during the harvest time, what is the harvest interval, please?
At least for chili,
yes,
we have something we call chili comes in waves. So the first wave, or when it is ready for you to harvest, you see 5 days interval, you can pick what is ready.
Right.
Now for chili, the more you harvest, the more it gives you fruits.
Okay.
So if you allow the fruit to be on because it's beautiful, you are denying the plant to start the next section or next wave. So it will be good that when you see the plant heavy with fruits, you start taking off the ripe one immediately.
All right.
So that you get continuous harvest.
Okay. And for how long will I harvest my chilies?
Yes.
Before I think the plant is overgrown and I need to replace them on the field.
Okay, so chili naturally is what we call a perennial plant. If you treat it well, it will keep giving fruit for as long as another 3 months.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So it means my harvest can last me as long as 6 months if I treat it well. 6
months will be so it will still follow a biological curve.
Okay.
So if you started harvesting like this, it will peak and it will be coming down.
Okay.
So the reason why I'll do 3 months, you'll be somewhere here, which is still very positive.
Okay.
And then if you should, it's like input and output, labor time and everything. So by the time you see that it is falling, you should be able to do the assessment. If it's wet, still keeping.
Right.
But for your first 3 months of harvest, we're expecting that you should be getting your 13 tons or 13,000 kilograms.
Right. So for give and take, we have 38,000 here, but you are saying we should make it a round figure to about
40,000.
40,000.
For easy calculation for all of us.
Now, is it out of my first cycle of production and harvest that I want to take my 40,000?
Sure.
I want to get my 40,000 back.
So this is a good question.
Right.
Now, you and I must appreciate that nobody build a house and a house for rent, a house for a hostel, or buy a car for a taxi and get the same money that same year. It's practically impossible.
Okay.
But unfortunately in farming, that has been the grounds for assumption. You cannot get a land, a pump that you are going to use throughout year on year, and so decide to get all of it. But some crop can provide you that cushion, which hopefully as we go along, we will see. But if you want the farm to be very sustainable, then what we are actually saying that if we do our multiplication and we are there, we even exceed. If you deduct and you are left with, say, 1,000 CD, for example, you say you have got some good profit or it's minimal profit. But remember, you are no more going to buy pumps. You are no more going to buy irrigation systems. Land, you lease it for maybe 1 year, so it will be spread. Now, what we say in finance is amortization. To amortize means to spread your fixed cost like this over a period of time, maybe 6 production seasons. So you can divide this into, say, 6 or into 5. That for this pump and everything here, I'll be able to do 5 cycles of pepper before I go and buy another pump.
Okay.
If so, if 10,000 is divided by 5, I'm using whole figures, then it will mean that at the time you are deducting your revenue, you'll be here, your actual one will be 2,000 CD.
Okay.
For the first year.
Okay. All right.
So that is what you must deduct as a cost of production for this part of it.
All right. You also made mention off camera that this budget can go up if the land we own it, and also if we are considering stuff like borehole, building a farm structure, also what else is it, solar or
solar installation,
and then so this cost can shoot up if the land is yours permanently and you can do that heavy investment. But if it is a rented land, then some of those things are out. Then you have to give it a try with this, and then you know what, subsequently when you buy the land, you can go ahead and then do the proper investment. Is that not correct?
Yes. Now for the expected yield, like we have estimated, I want to compute this on camera for people to see, because sometimes it will look like you are just giving figures. So if we say the plants should give us about 13 tons and we are selling a kilo for 20 cedis, then we multiply by 20, it is giving us a figure of 260,000 cedis.
Are you serious?
Please.
If each plant
was able to provide us
100 fruits,
and
you are selling at 20 Ghana cedi,
which is among the cheapest if it comes to things like habanero. It's even way lower. Habanero sells as high as 35 cedis in Ghana.
Please stand up. Thank you, sir. So explain again. You are saying that each plant you are projecting 100 fruits on each plant. That is if all things be equal. Good agronomy practices, well kept, no disease and all that. If all those things go through, and your plant is able to produce 100 fruit for one plant
for the season, or for the 3 months, which is real,
and you are selling at 20
minimum price
per kilo. I'm getting how much?
We are getting 260,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Now, like I mentioned earlier, to not let people feel like, is this real? We can even drop the price with an assumption that
you're meeting bumper harvest.
You are meeting bumper harvest. So you are not going to get this price at the market.
For a kilo.
So what I'm saying is that 100 fruits sell for 10 cedis.
All right.
Which is way cheaper, too cheap. So if we should even come down intentionally to face realities, 10 cedis, which is less than $1. Then the same computing system, we are saying that 13,000 kilos or 13 tons multiplied by just under $1. Then that one is even 130,000.
30,000 Ghana cedi. If all things be equal.
Exactly. Now, the least we can do also is to reduce yield intentionally. That 20% of the yield is not real. It can be lost, post-harvest losses, crop diseases, crop failure. So I can do 13,000 by 20% times 20% as a loss. So if I deduct, that would be 2,600 kilograms. So if I deduct 2,600 minus 13,000, I did the opposite. We are getting about 10,400. Please, I'm on purpose reducing all our yield and prices. Just for people to appreciate the worst case scenario. With the highest population density. At this level, let's do the revenue again. So 10,400 or 10 tons, basically. When you say loud, it looks big, but it's 10 tons. Multiply by just 10 cedis, which is under the $1. Then even that one, we are getting 100,000 Ghana cedis. Good. 100,000. That's 104,000 Ghana cedi. So the least price in this case, 100,040. That is the least price with the least yield. Now, 10 tons, if somebody who is not in Ghana or within West Africa is watching, he will ask, why are you using 10 tons as your yield? Because globally and other parts of the world, people are achieving 80 tons per hectare.
Right.
Divided by 2.5, that will give us the acre yield.
Okay.
So 80 divided by 2.5, that should give us minimum 32 tons per hectare.
Okay.
So here we are dealing with, and we have divided the 32 tons, which is the world standard, into 3.
All right.
So I divide this yield by 3 to get us the 10.4. Here is 10.6. Now at the 10.6 tons, we have also deducted extra wastes and all these things and reduced the price yet again.
Okay.
So we have come to the worst price, the worst yield with the highest cost of production.
Okay.
And if we juxtapose that, we are going to go to see the revenue, and we are going to see the cost of production, and then we will see profit before tax.
Okay.
So can we go on?
Of course. Let's go on.
Okay. Now, when we look at our cost of production, we try to say 40,000 to make it easy for all of us. Here, the revenue is providing 10,000 or 104,000. So 104,000. And then our cost of production is 38,500.
Yes.
And I said intentionally, let's make it 40,000.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yes.
So if you join later and we change the figure, please, you can do the calculation again. No problem.
Yeah.
Just for everyone to have a good feel of it. If possible, I can intentionally reduce this and make it flat figure, 100,000. Now, how much are we getting as profit before tax?
60,000.
60,000. So this is profit before tax.
Okay.
So you have to subject this to your country tax system.
All right.
And then, even that, they are not going to take 20,000 out of this figure. Far from that. 10%, 17%. Compute all the system of tax, and you still be very good
at a comfortable lead.
Given your production cost.
Right.
So all that we are saying for this is, in real accounting principle, you are not expected to take the entire fixed cost of production out of
your profit.
No. Okay. Or your revenue.
Maybe it's after 2 production.
Yes,
or
2
more,
or more.
Then you can take.
You can take everything.
I know.
But we are still giving you the chance that, for me, I came to test the water.
Right.
And I'm not too sure whether I'll continue or not. So choose to take everything out. We are saying that you are still above your cost of production. Now, afterwards, if you decide not to even go into farming, you've recovered all that you put into it, and you still have some extra money.
Something small for, breaking bottles. But from your expertise, would you advise that I sell my chili fresh or dry? Which one will give me higher income? That's what I'm looking for. So,
at peak price, whether dry or fresh is the same.
Okay.
Yes. At the end of the day,
right.
When prices of dry chili are up, it will be good for you. The reason why people actually dry is because there are bumper harvest and the market is choked.
Okay.
So they know they will not get the price they want. So they choose the drying to delay and wait for good market. So basically, by the time you check the price at the time the dry people are selling, it is the same as when the price is good at fresh stage.
At fresh stage. Okay, just like maize farmers are doing now.
Exactly.
I mean, yesterday when we went to the farm, we saw people, women queuing, buying maize and others. And I'm sure someone was also keep theirs and hoard it. During August, September, thereabout, he also release it and sell. So I believe this has been very, very insightful, very educative. Yeah. I'm going to a quick break. When I come back, our, product developer, economist, agronomist, product developer, and of course, he works in Sakata Seeds. He would be, giving us a fair understanding, clearer view of what you should, do before. If I were you, I'd take pen and paper and put all of this in my diary. But I'm going for a quick break. I'll be right back. Thanks for staying. If you just tune in, this is Farming Today on the Ghanaian Farmer TV. My name is Enyunam, but when you see me in town, call me Ghana's finest farmer. Yes, today I'm not wearing the Ghanaian farmer, I'm wearing the extension alert. It is also one of our newest productions that you'll be seeing on our channel, where we'll be discussing a lot of agronomy issues only, okay? And definitely you'll be seeing people like Ben, Godfred, Prince, and my very good brother here, Eric, to be discussing a lot about farming and agronomy issues. But let me introduce you to this cutie, urea here. It is Roco Nano Urea. Roco Nano Urea. We say, caring for you. We care for you. For a very long time, farmers will go and buy this solid urea. If you don't get a taxi, how are you going to carry it and pay a lot of money? And if it doesn't rain heavily, you can apply your urea. And also, if you apply and the rain doesn't come, you are stressed. It can even evaporate in the air. You will not get the full benefit of it. But you see, this bottle is 500 ml. And this is the newest technology when it's come to urea. It is used widely in different parts of West African countries, from Guinea to Senegal to Mali, Cote d'Ivoire. It's in Ghana. I even saw it in Morocco. All right. This one, your plant absorbs 80% of the nutrient from Roco, all right, through its leaves. And it is very affordable. It is environmentally friendly. This enhances your crop quality, and of course, it increases your yield. This, all you have to do is that when you open, you see this cap, this is your measuring cup. You pour this into a knapsack full of water. Mix it. If you have any pesticide or weedicide you want to spray, you can even add it. It doesn't hurt. And then you can apply. But please, if you have to apply this, do it early in the morning. By 5:30, 6 a.m. latest, you are done. All right. If it's in the evening too, around 4:35 p.m. thereabout, you can also do yours. But the first application is 3 weeks after your transplant. All right. 3 weeks after your transplant. And then the next application is 2 weeks interval. Then you apply the second. If you finish, my brother, close it and keep it for the next production cycle. But unless those of you who are harvesting, if you finish harvesting the first cycle or the first round of okra, you can still apply small to enhance the next fruit that will be coming, and then you can also go ahead and harvest. This is very, 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 very affordable. It's 240 cedis, and it's a promotional price. Compared to the other urea that's costing about 500 and 550, this one, small in size but big when it's working. I sell some. I'm one of their distributors, so you can call me on 0554-830431, or you can call the number displayed from Roco, and then you can talk to JK Industries Limited. They also have some, stocks available in the warehouses. If you are wondering what farmer can use this, from chili, habanero, onions, carrots, cabbage, rice, maize, watermelon, whatever it is that you are into, all right, you can use Roco Nano Urea, caring for you. Call me and let me give you your bottle. So Eric, we are about rounding up, but worst case scenario, some farmer might say that, listen, I don't want to do 13,000 plant population on my bed. Right. I want to reduce this to either 8 or 10,000. Okay. That one too, how would the figure be looking like? Is it still making sense?
Yes, for me, it still makes sense.
All right.
If we have a minimum plant population density around 8,300, so I chose to buy less of the seeds. And I did it at selling price at 10 cedis. Then it is also giving me something like 83,000. Here like this.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not your profit still doesn't, it doesn't look so discouraging. It's still very, very good if you reduce the plant population on 1 acre to 8,000 plant population instead of the 13,000 plant population. You say, listen, me, I want to do 8,000 plant population on one bird. This is how much you're looking at, which still makes a very good business sense for a farmer.
So I'm taking the cost of production at its highest point, 40 out of 83.
Exactly.
So I will do the calculation to avoid any 40, 83, 300 minus the 40,000 of production cost. It is giving us
43,000.
43 of 3,000. Profit before tax. That should be fine.
Okay, this looks really great. For a farmer, it is very important that you do something like this.
Right.
So you know what you're talking about. I think this goes a long way to solve the issue of, I have 5,000. And I have 10,000, and you have 15,000. It will not take you anywhere. All right. So this is how much we are looking at.
And I can also do something for them.
Right.
So if an acre is 4,000, an acre is 4,000 square meter, give or take. Now that we know our total cost of production is average of 40,000 per acre. Don't rush if you want to do a test case. You can decide to do a quarter acre, a half acre, 1/8 of an acre. Right. You just want to see.
Yes.
But we are just encouraging that if you are going to buy all of these, it's better to do it bigger. Economies of scale. The bigger, the better.
Yeah.
However, assuming you still, that's what the only amount, 10,000. It means 1/4 of an acre. That's what you want to spend. But the challenge sometimes is when you are going to buy these things, they sell it sometimes per acre. And you may end up spending some of these things. For the variable cost, you could buy what you want and you are okay. Assuming you are doing 1/4 of an acre, then your plant population, everything you divide by 4. Or if you are doing half an acre, everything you divide by 2. That could also make room for anyone who is interested in a smaller unit area, and better still, a bigger unit area.
Okay. All right. So guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this episode. But because at the start of the season, the rain's delayed, but now it's beginning to intensify, and it's very important that we bring this episode to this moment like this. It makes real sense for every new farmer. Thank you very much, Eric, for doing us the honors and coming to put all of this together for us. But watch more of this subsequently on, because you guys, you like the money part. You like the money, so watch more of this. This is for chili. We might work something around watermelon. We might work something around tomatoes, onion. One day we might even bring a fish farmer to come and break it down for us. And then you will know what you're dealing with and how you can prepare. My name once again is Enyona. When you see me in town, call me Ghana's finest farmer. Big thanks to Roco Nano Urea for being our sponsor. Go get some. The entire 16 region, you get some to buy. But call me on my number and I will deliver it to your doorstep. And big shout out to Eric Asante, who works with Sakata Seeds. They have some amazing, incredible quality seeds for you as well. Reach out to any of us and we can also help you recommend a good seed for you to cultivate. Until then, I'll see you next week on our next episode. Bye-bye.